Hello, everyone, and this is a book review, or more likely the things that I found interesting and important from this book or course. So that's by the Gary Courses, and it's called Stress and Your Body. So let's dive in. So the first idea is when you're stressed, you turn off your digestive system, which is really interesting. So the more you're stressed, the more your digestive system doesn't work. Sometimes can cause weight gain, or in other words, it just doesn't process the food and you just go to waste. So that's really important. The next idea is when we run away from a lion, the bladder will release extra fluids that are not needed in order to be lighter. That's what happens sometimes when people are afraid, the fight or flight response. And it is reported that some people, when I'm afraid, they will piss in their pants. And that's the reason is that because back then when you run from a lion, it's not because you're afraid, you're just the reason is just not because of fear, you just piss, that just go together. The reason is that you're trying to be lighter, because it's better to run off without this extra weight. You have more power to run longer and you're lighter, basically. I find it really interesting. Next idea is carbs while stressed help to reduce stress level, and that's why people that are stressed will eat carbs. And in general, it's interesting to know that carbs can help reduce stress. Sometimes that can be addictive too. Next idea is when a fetal experiences stress, he programmed to store as much food as he can. They found out in the World War II, there is a lot of options like that even a fetal in early ages can already be programmed to store more food. So if he sees that his mother doesn't have a lot of food, he will get programmed to eat more, because evolutionary wise, he knows that when he gets out, there will no be food. So as much food as you can, take it and store it for longer periods. Next idea is in times of stress, testosterone levels are going down. Also when you are down in the hierarchy levels. So when we stress, I think it's mostly for human, testosterone levels will go down, and that's the same idea when you are down in the hierarchy levels, your testosterone level will also go down, because maybe because you don't need as much testosterone when you're down in the hierarchy level or when you're stressed. So that can be good. That's also what happens when you're stressed, so that sometimes is not good. Another idea is aging only developed later in the evolutionary clock. Aging is that lets you fall apart, but before you fall apart, you are willing to get a lot of benefit short amount of time. Aging apparently has evolutionary benefit over not aging for the same reason. So I don't really remember all of it, but aging only developed later. But the idea is that the idea of aging is only developed later in the evolutionary clock, and the idea of falling apart is willing to get you a lot of benefit short amount of time. Aging apparently has evolutionary benefit over not. So aging has an evolutionary benefit over not aging, apparently. So that's a good idea, but I can understand why was it good. I re-edited. So what it means is that aging is a process that lets you fall apart but before you fall apart, you're willing to give a lot of benefits to the surroundings in a short amount of time. So that's why aging is a good process other than bad, because if you think evolutionary wise, you might think what is good to be old, or to be, yeah, basically what good you can do when you're old, because you're only a liability. You move slow, you can't really do anything that requires physical strength. But the idea is that you can benefit with your wisdom, and apparently aging also have evolutionary benefits, because otherwise this process wouldn't survive. That's the idea. Next idea is, when you always look for the negative side, even when there is some good side, this is some sort of depression. So he claims that when you're continuously negative and trying really hard to find the negative in everything, that's some sort of a depression. So that's interesting to know. Next idea is that repressive personality looks as a very happy person, and when something very stressful comes along, the repression will take place with greater force. Sometimes people that repress stuff, they look happy because they are repressing that. They don't, the bad things are not present in their mind. But when something really stressful can come along, the repression or the side effect will take place, but with greater force. So that can really be sometimes dangerous and really need to be addressed. The next idea is that repressor personality are usually very neat and orderly, but they have higher levels of stress in their body bloodstream, because it's really hard to keep everything seen as not stressful. So same idea with the repressor personality. They will be neat and orderly, which is sometimes interesting just to know, but they also have higher levels of stress in their bloodstream. They don't see it, they don't show it sometimes, they don't know it, but they do have it, because it's really hard to actually stay or seem at least not stressful even when you actually are. Alright, that's the main ideas, guys. Thank you. Adios.